Hi!
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Average Dave's Movie and TV Talk. This is episode 8.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. We got corrected.
We're told.
We got corrected by our...
I thought it was 7, but then again,
we got corrected by
I was at the
the
doctor's. I still haven't
boss.
found my brain.
Well, we got corrected by the boss.
Yeah, gods were angry.
So we're at episode 8. Got anything to say before we get into anything?
Let's just go, Dave.
All right.
You got some stuff to get into beforehand.
So today's first subject is going to be rest in peace to Donald Sutherland.
Oddball.
Excellent actor, been a long-time actor. You know, a lot of people know his son more, who's Kiefer Sutherland. But Donald Sutherland was the original Hawkeye Pierce from the movie MASH. And everybody knows the series MASH with Alan Alda as Hawkeye Pierce, but Donald Sutherland was the original Hawkeye Pierce. He also starred as Sergeant Oddball in Kelly's Heroes, which is a great World War II. It's like a comedy.
It is
action.
a comedy.
You know?
It's more of a comedy.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood, Telly Savalas.
It's just so goofy.
Yeah, it's a lot of people in that.
Funny movie, fun watch, good time.
Very short role in one of the classic comedies of all time, Animal House. He actually played Dave Jennings, one of the professors that gives some of the students marijuana, gets them high.
The Mary Jane.
He was in a great horror movie called Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Never seen it.
A lot of the younger people are going to know him from the Hunger Games series as President Snow. I didn't think the first Hunger Games was all that bad, then it just lost me.
I think I've only seen like the first 2.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were kids' movies, and then I watched it, and I was like, these are kids killing each other. That's not very kid-friendly, but it's cool.
Great concept.
Yeah.
It just started losing me because the actors I didn't think were all that great. See, the first one was good.
First one was good. Second one I thought was fine. I don't know past that.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Donald Sutherland. Next subject is Boys Season 4. The Boys Season 4. It's out, 4 episodes in. It's so far. I know you don't watch it because you wait until everything comes right out in one. So you can.
I've been watching 1 through 3 to get acclimated with the show again.
So far, Season 4 to me is my least favorite season, but I can see where they're headed to finish it off in Season 5. But Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, is unbelievable this year. His character is completely 100% unhinged, which makes it so much better because you do not know what he's going to do from one scene to the next. He is so good this year.
If you had the powers of Homelander, like the powers of Superman without kryptonite, would you be more like Superman or would you be more like Homelander?
Well, that's a toughie.
I know what I would be.
That's a toughie.
I know what I would be.
I would probably say Superman.
Okay. Well, then you'd probably have to kill me because I'd be Homelander.
But Homelander, if you have not seen The Boys, watch it.
Not kid-friendly.
Not kid-friendly.
Not at
it's
all.
Definitely a hard
R.
Hard R. I mean, you could almost push NC-17 on that.
Listen, man, there's some SSC in that. Okay?
It's pretty...
There's some SSC in that.
Yeah.
And you know.
But what's good about it, they pick on white...
They pick on everyone.
White, black, gay, lesbian, straight...
Left, right, doesn't
right,
matter.
they don't care.
They will make fun of you, which is good.
And they do. They go at it hard sometimes, which is great. It is. Yeah. So, anyways, the last one before we get into the main subject is House of the Dragon Season 2 is out, which is the prequel to the Game of Thrones, which seasons 1 through 6 or 1 through 4 definitely
1 through
probably
4.
the 4
1
best
through 4.
seasons of TV ever made. 5 and 6 are
5 and 6 were very good, but they were getting a little bit less each season.
Yeah,
and then 7 it started going off a cliff, and 8 is when it landed on the ground, bottom of the cliff.
But I would put Season 1 and the first 2 episodes of Season 2 up against Season 1 and Season 2 of Game of Thrones.
That's very high praise.
It's excellent.
It's very high praise.
It's excellent.
If somebody asked you, Dave, should I watch Game of Thrones? I've never seen it.
Yes.
What would you say?
Yes.
Yes. I think the answer would have to be yes, but you would also have to warn them. 1 through 4, arguably the best television that's ever been made.
Oh, yeah.
5 and 6, still excellent, but dropping a little bit.
Yep.
And then 7 and 8, it just goes off the rails.
Yeah.
But you have to watch it.
If you ask me, should I watch Game of Thrones? 100% yes.
Just know that episode.
Yeah, just know that the end is going to really...
Siege of Winterfell. Was that it?
Winterfell.
Yeah, the Siege of Winterfell.
Yeah.
Enough said. The Siege of Winterfell and transporting armies, and then Khaleesi just forgetting about things.
Yep. No, that's... But yes, it's a must-watch.
Yeah.
with the knowledge of that.
7 and 8. 7 and 8 or meh.
So yeah, those are just 3 quick things I wanted to bring up. And today's main subject, Dave's going to take the lead on this one, is what is DEI? And we kind of just explained what DEI is.
DEI was such a pain in the ass to research because if you go on Google, and that's basically everyone's default search engine, you go on Google and you look up DEI, everything's positive. Right. It's why DEI is, a influence for change and why it's good, and
it can be, but they've taken it to the extreme in the other direction. So what is DEI and how it's destroying the movie and TV industry?
I honestly couldn't come up with a way to do this episode.
It's hard.
But you had a really good idea, and let's talk about the Oscars.
Yep.
Because the Oscars is where it's really getting pushed. The Oscars is where it's was it the CEO of Vanguard?
Vanguard Studios?
No. Like, there's like 3 mega corporations. It's like Vanguard, BlackRock, and one of those CEOs was on, I think, that New York Times interview show, and they're talking about how, change for the sake of change won't happen organically, so we have to force it. That's why there's all these quotas, and you need to have so many members of your staff that are this, so many members of your staff that are that, and it's like that is DEI.
Right.
And the Oscars, as far as entertainment, started doing it themselves. And you printed out this nice little sheet from 2020, where they go over all of your requirements. Now, this is only in the category of Best Picture.
That's the only one that falls under.
Yes, every other category
is still open.
It's still open. But if you want to make a movie in Hollywood starting in 2020 and be considered for the Best Picture nomination, you need to follow these qualifications. And we're just going to go over them. We're also going to talk about some of the past winners before this took place, namely up to 2020, and whether or not we feel as though they would have won or even been qualified. But I'll start it off here. So, if you make a movie past 2020 and you want to be eligible for the Best Picture category, you need to have standard on-screen representation themes and narratives. To achieve standard A film must meet one of the following criteria. At least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors is from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. Then looks like they give
Asian,
Hispanic, Latinx, because we all know Latins want to be called Latinxes. Black, African American, Indigenous, Native American, Alaskan Native, Middle Eastern, North African, Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, other underrepresented race or ethnicity. So
then you have A2.
It's broken down into 3. A2, general ensemble cast. At least 30% of all actors in secondary or more minor roles are from at least 2 of the following underrepresented groups. Women, racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ plus alphabet people, people with cognitive or physical disabilities, or who are deaf or hard of hearing. So your film must meet at least one of the following criteria. So if you're a studio lead, why wouldn't you just say, oh yeah, all of my background actors are all non-binary and they're deaf?
That's why we're going to get into the movies that are prior to this,
so stupid.
Because a lot of these movies would never meet it, even though some of them are classic movies of all time.
And then the third thing for this is the main story subject matter.
Pretty much the same as the one.
The main storyline, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on underrepresented groups: women, racial or ethnic group, alphabet people, people with cognitive or physical disabilities, or who are deaf or hard of hearing.
Yeah.
So, to achieve standard A, the film must meet one of the following criteria: just 1, 2, or 3. You have to do one of them.
Yeah.
Either your story's about DEI, your backup cast is DEI, or your lead or significant supporting actor is DEI.
And then they go into, your standard B, which is the creative leadership or project team. industry access and opportunities. But your main thing is A, B, and A1, A2, and A3. You have to have a certain percentage, which there's certain movies you can do that. There's other parts of history. If you were going to do movies, you can't do these. So your film will not be subject to an Oscar nomination.
It seems like they thought of that because standard B, which you have to meet one of these as well. Like, I don't. So you have to meet one of standard A, one of the film must meet one of the criteria below, which is all the cast, or I'm sorry, the crew.
So you can get around a lot of things with the crew.
But still, you would need, if you were making a movie about World War II.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
It happened. It's Normandy invasion during World War II in Northern Europe, and it was all your leads in that role, that movie.
I'm not going to say anything because I have a list later.
Yeah.
And, we'll just get into that.
And like I said, I don't have an issue with change. I don't care. I don't care if you're white, black, straight, gay, whatever.
Change for the sake of change, or change, I should say change because the person that's doing it is the best person for the job is fantastic.
Don't force these story writers and stuff to change.
You don't get that.
Change what they have written up just to meet these standards.
Yep. So it's basically the same thing with the crew.
Yeah, it's all down through there.
Casting director needs to be Asian, Hispanic, Latin. The same thing. Other key roles, those are the first aid, gaffer, script supervisor, 30% of the film's crew, women. It's the same thing. Yeah, it's women, racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ.
I'll just bring the Acolyte with Star Wars right now. I've made it through. I've watched all 5 seasons.
I'm gonna watch it for the sake of the show.
It's absolutely horrible. You can see the political agenda they're throwing, but I'll just throw this out there real quick. They have completely and 100% destroyed the Star Wars lore. Completely destroyed it.
Would you even consider the Acolyte or most Disney Star Wars? Would you consider most of Disney Star Wars fan fiction? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even call it fan fiction because I don't think it's been made by fans.
No,
I think fan fiction is made by fans, and as the Little Platoon put it, it's Walt Disney and their incompetent army of lesbians.
Well, you got,
and I heard that, and I said, yeah,
you had
that sounds about right.
Kathleen Kennedy come out yesterday and blame fans of Star Wars for the failure of Star Wars.
Yes,
because
you're not making Star Wars.
Well, true fans know what the true Star Wars was, and now what they're throwing out there. I mean, there's been a couple. I'll go back to Andor. Love Andor. Great series. 1.5 out of the 3 seasons of Mandalorian. Great.
Yeah.
And then we lose it. Boba Fett, because they have their agenda in that.
Obi-Wan.
More than see it in.
Obi-Wan was the Reva show.
Yeah. Boba Fett, you can see the agenda there. You can see it in Obi-Wan. And Acolyte is horrible. There's a scene here. Yes, two episodes. They're talking about Jedi that weren't even born yet. This is showing you that people that are doing this have no clue what they're doing. They're being hired for reasons.
Yeah,
but they don't know the source material.
They don't. You saw one of the actors, the one who plays the Jedi Knight, who was friends with Osha, I think her name is, right? When he was talking about during their press tour, he was talking about when Anakin blew up the Death Star. And I'm just like, yep, Anakin sure did blow up the Death Star.
So if you're hiring just to hire people because of the check boxes and they don't know anything about the source material, you're already behind the 8 ball.
They're activists.
To the fans. Well, it's
activism. Activist writers, activist show creators, activists.
And it's not.
I'm not going to say
we're
activist
not just
actors.
saying Disney.
They're
it's
not.
happening everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, look at your video.
Netflix.
Look at your video game companies.
Yep.
They're probably one of the worst.
They are.
They're ruining.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is, I think, supposed to come out next year, and I'm nervous about it because one of the Hauser brothers left. Laszlo Jones left.
What's the company that's big on pushing the DEI in the video game industry? There's a company that talks to these
Being
people.
like a consultant group.
Yeah,
I think it's like Sweet Baby Inc.
Sweet Baby Inc.
Yeah.
They're bad. Read that company. Read up about that company.
Yeah, well, I know that they were involved with not Thor Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok. Once I heard about that, I'm not playing it.
Yeah.
Anything that they touch, I'm not going to play.
This is why I appreciate Ryan Reynolds for fighting to keep the Deadpool Wolverine movie non-DEI.
Yeah.
He's fighting.
Or as much as they can.
Yeah,
as much as they can. I mean, it's still a Disney property. Stuff is going to get in.
Yeah, you have other actors trying to do the same, but it's a lot of these companies, it's a losing battle because their stockholders are owned by companies that want this.
What's going to happen is, and the one thing that Disney has going for it that everybody wants to see is the Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and the writers and the director, they're not going to want to keep working with Disney because they have to fight them to make their movie.
Ryan Reynolds is threatening to walk out of Deadpool 3. This is not technically Deadpool 3 that's coming out. This is Deadpool Wolverine. Mm-hmm. There's a Deadpool 3 that is in talks. He's threatening to walk out if they try to push this stuff anymore. So we might not get a Deadpool 3.
Good.
Yeah, good on Ryan Reynolds and those people for sticking up for what the source material is.
I'd rather not get it if it's just going to be crap.
Yeah. Yes.
Seriously. I would have rather not gotten the end of Game of Thrones. Yeah. It's just like, hey, listen, we are going to wait for George R.R. Martin to finish the books, which, is never going to happen, but.
Yeah, you never know when that'll happen.
Yeah.
If it'll happen. He's getting up there.
Yep.
But there's a lot of people trying to fight back, but the problem is there's too much money that's invested at that top to push that. And coming from very well off companies with a lot of money that are
and a lot of clout
influenced by the political wave of political correctness.
Yeah.
And political correctness is not always right. Like I said, I don't care if you want to write a good story and it has all the checkbox, I don't care. The Boys. Prime example is The Boys. It has everything in it. White, black, straight, gay, it doesn't matter. They have everybody playing all these roles. But they don't shove it in your face.
Yep.
And they pick on everybody anyways.
They also had a gender swap.
Yeah.
They had and you know what, some of these characters that are in the show and they're more prevalent characters in the comic books aren't that prevalent. Like Soldier Boy's not a big character.
No, but he stole last year.
But
Marvel is doing swaps just to do swaps.
Yeah.
Whereas the Boys did it and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did the swap of Stormfront in season 2, but they brought in a really good actress. They made her like a love interest for like Homelander. Like they did it for story reasons.
Yeah. But they have taken hits from a lot of people, the Boys, on groups on the right and groups on the left.
Yep.
How can Stormfront? She's a Nazi. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of the story.
And she's a bad guy.
Yeah, but she's part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Maeve. Well, she's lesbian. Who cares? She was great.
Yeah.
All these roles work if you have good source material, good material, and good actors playing it.
Wasn't it? Who just came? I think it was George R.R. Martin just came out against like all these modern Hollywood writers. Like they come in there and they are doing adaptations for these things, and they're trying to change the source material so much. No, wait, I'm sorry. I think it was George Lucas.
Well, George Lucas, it sounds like he's getting sick of what's going on with Star Wars.
George Lucas basically bashed modern day Hollywood about, it's like you guys like come in and you get these IPs, and then while you're trying to adapt them, you're trying to improve upon it. And it's like, you're not going to improve upon it because you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not a good enough writer. You're not creative enough. You don't have the lived experiences. Like, you don't have it in you to make it better. There's a reason why they went out and bought these IPs, and it's because they were made by better writers than you.
Yeah.
And you're going to go in there and try and improve it.
Well, look what
you're not going to do it.
Disney was the whole Snow White debacle.
Is the movie even getting made?
It's they're doing reshoots right now, and it sounds like Disney might not even release it because
did what's her face get fired? Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, the stuff she was coming out to say.
That's because
completely changed up
you have
the story
an
activist, of Snow White.
Not an actor.
Yeah, you've completely changed up the story of Snow White. The classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from Disney, 1938, 37?
Yeah, something like
completely changed up the story. If you
I was going to say 39, but 39 was Wizard of Oz.
If you want to do that, make a different story.
Just do your own thing. Like nobody's going to watch it because it's a friggin' Disney property.
I think Disney already knows that.
Their only thing is to bastardize their own catalog, which they've been doing with all of their live actions. Like I saw Cinderella, that was pretty good.
Cinderella was
Jungle Book.
Decent.
I mean, it wasn't a bastardization. I didn't like it, but it wasn't a bastardization.
To me, one of the worst was The Lion King because you can't show.
Yeah, I never saw it, and
you can't show emotion in these animals. And Lion King is one of the best animated movies to ever have been made.
I didn't watch Aladdin because if I want to watch Aladdin, I will watch the original Aladdin.
But the Aladdin wasn't bad.
Okay,
I understand where you're coming because the original Aladdin is.
But if I'm going to do it, I would rather watch the Robin Williams genie. Yeah. I would rather watch the original Lion King with their cast. James Earl Jones and
live action. I don't think
Ferris Bueller, whatever his name is.
Disney has not learned taking their animated and moving into live action. It hasn't. Yeah, it's making them money, but in the long run, is it really?
It's not worth the damage that they're doing to their property.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because.
They don't care. They're losing billions.
Yeah, people just kind of look at Disney and just kind of want to laugh at them. We talk so much about Disney, and we haven't even done our Disney show, or our Disney Star Wars show, or our just Disney in general show.
Let's get into your list there, because we're going off track here.
Well, there was a couple more. Categories.
They pretty much all run
basically
the same,
the apprentices and interns need to be of the certain thing, and that was Group C. And Standard D is your marketing, publicity, distribution people.
They're forcing people to
need to be
might not be certified.
Need to be DEI. Yeah. Again, you're forcing companies to not hire based on their merits. Yeah. So I went back from 1990, just listed every single movie that won the Academy Award. Dave, we'll start with 1990. Dances with Wolves. You think it would have qualified?
Yes.
I think it would have too.
Yep.
Because of the whole Native American thing.
Nobody cared because it was a great movie.
Nobody cared. 1991. Silence of the Lambs.
Probably not.
Maybe because maybe cannibals are part of the alphabet people. Like, wasn't he like skinning them and like eating them?
Yeah. See,
so
maybe I never much cared for that movie.
What?
Yeah, I'm not a big Silence of the Lambs guy.
All right, you're allowed to be wrong.
I know.
1992. This one's definitely a no for me. Unforgiven.
Well, you have
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you got the kid who's like blind.
Yeah. No, I think.
So yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
93. This was definitely no. Schindler's List.
Absolutely not.
Nope. There wasn't enough queer representation.
Black, anything. That's such a good movie.
Yep. 1994, Forrest Gump.
Yes.
Why? Because
you have.
Oh, you do have Lieutenant Dan and his disability,
and then you have
you got Bubba.
Yeah,
you
Bubba,
got
who is so underrated now. I love that.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Who represents more of the LGBT people.
Yeah.
She's a whore. Yeah. 1995, Braveheart.
No.
Nope. 1996, I've never seen this movie, The English Patient.
I really don't remember much about it. So
I don't think I've seen it, so I don't know. I don't care. 1997, Titanic.
What is it?
Titanic.
No.
I think no, too.
Cast and crew, cast-wise, definitely not.
Maybe. 1998, Shakespeare in Love. We can just yeet that right out of there. Let's go Saving Private Ryan.
Absolutely. No.
No. And Shakespeare in Love, like, seriously, who's seen it?
What? To this day.
I've still never seen it.
But to this day, I cannot understand how Shakespeare in Love beat out Saving Private Ryan.
I'm pretty
for
sure.
The best picture.
Pretty sure it's considered, like, one of the worst movies to ever win the
You
Academy.
had one of
Especially,
the classic all-time
you have the
movies.
best war movie ever made.
Yeah.
1999, American Beauty.
No,
I don't think so either.
no,
2000, Gladiator.
yes. Because you did have Middle Eastern, you had African American, you had white, you had all. Yeah, no, it would.
Maybe. 2001, A Beautiful Mind.
Great movie. So good.
But maybe because he was disabled.
Yeah,
You know, he had the brain pain.
that's a great movie, though. That's a good movie.
'02, Chicago.
You know what? Never seen it, so couldn't tell you.
I'm gonna say no. I saw it once.
I never had the desire to see that movie.
It's a musical. You know, back in the day, I used to, if a movie won the Academy, I would at least try and watch it. So I did watch Chicago.
Yep, I've never had.
I don't think it would have been eligible, but it also was not very memorable to me. So I don't know. '03, The Return of the King. You did have little people, little ones.
The Dwarfs. No,
I'm going to say no too. '04, $1 Million Baby. This is a movie I'm not crazy
I
about.
don't know much about the movie.
It's-
It's a Clint Eastwood movie
It's
who
a
I
Clint Eastwood
love,
movie.
but I had no desire to watch that movie.
It wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that good. I'm
this is something
I'm going
we-
to say probably not,
This would be a good
but
list.
maybe. I don't know.
Oscar winners for the year and the runner-up, or the movies that it went up against to see if what we would think. Because there's already been a couple.
$1 Million
that
Baby, Chicago,
Yeah.
Shakespeare in Love, The
Yeah,
English
see-
Patient. I've never seen The
Yeah,
English Patient.
see who the movies were
I know that
it was up against.
I know that The English Patient was its own episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
'05, Crash.
Yes,
Yes. '06, The Departed.
yes,
You think so?
I think so.
I don't know. It's just a bunch of white guys and gangsters. I don't think
No,
it
you're
had
right.
enough.
No,
I don't
no.
think it had enough.
No.
I'm going to say
No.
for The Departed, probably not.
No.
'07, No Country for Old Men.
No,
I don't think so either.
great movie.
Wonderful movie. '08, Slumdog Millionaire.
Never saw it.
Probably just because it is.
Yeah, never saw it.
I saw it once. It was a good movie.
Yeah, never saw it.
'09, The Hurt Locker.
Yes, because it was a military movie, and you had African American, white, and Hispanic soldiers in it. So yeah,
That was Anthony Mackie, right?
yeah, he was in it.
Yeah, it was like
What's his name?
one of the two good things he's been in.
Yeah, he's not a good actor.
No, he's not. 2010, The King's Speech.
You love that movie.
I love it.
I'm not a huge fan of it. I've only seen it once when it first came out, so I really can't tell you.
I mean, they definitely don't have the representation.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to say because of his speech impediment, he's some sort of I'm going to say probably not. 2011, never saw this one, The Artist.
I've never seen The Artist.
It was a black and white silent movie.
Yep.
I wasn't interested.
Yep.
So I don't know. Probably because, they lack Keller.
Yeah. But I've never seen that movie.
2012, I never saw this one either. Argo.
Argo is a great movie, and yes,
It would.
yes. You've
Say,
never seen Argo?
No.
That's one of Ben Affleck's, to me, one of Ben Affleck's better movies.
Benny Boys?
See, there's another actor. Great movies or bombs.
Yeah. All right. Fine. That's fair enough. 2013, 12 Years a Slave.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, very good movie.
Excellent movie.
Very good movie.
Hard to watch.
Very hard to watch.
I remember.
That's a movie, if you're sensitive over some of the issues,
Yeah.
that is a movie you're going to have to.
I remember right after I watched 12 Years a Slave for the first time, I had to immediately go and then watch Django Unchained.
Yeah.
To watch Slave get some
Yeah.
But payback.
If you're sensitive on a couple of those subjects, that one's a tough one.
It's not it's a difficult movie.
Yeah. But it's a good movie.
2014. Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
Maybe.
I don't know. I honestly
I don't
saw it
remember
once.
much about it. But to go back to 12 Years a Slave,
Yep.
you know what the movie's about, but it's never pushed, shoved in your face. You know what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
There's never it's just a great movie from beginning to end. You know what's going on, but they're not, all these little things here, shoving it into you to say what's going on. But it's an excellent movie.
Excellent movie. The Birdman.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'd say it probably had some representation in it, just because. I don't know. 2014 movie started to get weird.
Yeah.
2015 Spotlight.
Don't remember enough of it.
I don't remember it. Like, I saw it probably within the past
I think it
year
was
too.
15 or when did Spike Lee come out and call the White Oscars? That like 17 or 18?
Who cares?
Yes,
It's
but that's
Spike
right
Lee.
after that is when they did that whole hashtag White Oscars, that sort of stuff. I think it was like 17 or 18. So I couldn't tell you on that one.
I've honestly not seen, past Spotlight. I haven't seen any of these. So Spotlight, I'm going to say, yeah, probably, but I don't really know. I'm not very smart. All right, 16 Moonlight, yes.
Moonlight, you know what?
Never saw it, but
It was
yes.
okay.
Never saw it, but yes.
It was okay.
It would.
But yes, it
17,
would.
The Shape of Water, yes. They got bestialities. I'm sure they're part of the alphabet people.
I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a yes.
Yeah.
It's a movie about a woman who falls in love with a fish person.
Yeah, and that fish person's really actually from the Hellboy run.
Yeah.
And great movies, Hellboy.
Yeah.
The first two.
18. I have not seen this one, but I do want to see it. The Green Book.
Green Book is phenomenal.
Just because
Yes.
I like
Viggo was
Viggo
excellent,
Mortensen.
and I can't remember the name of the other guy.
He's
He's the one that's going to be trying
Blade.
to get me to play Blade.
it's like Ali.
I
Begins with an M.
That movie, I recommend that movie to anybody. That movie is excellent, and again, it's about the situation that's going on at the time that the movie's taking
Yeah.
place. So you already know about it, but they're not shoving anything in your face because it's the story that you're following, and it's a great story.
I'm thinking our 4 viewers can probably tell that we didn't really go over this too much.
Well, some of the movies, yeah. I mean, what do you want to tell you? I've never seen it.
19. Parasite.
Yes, and I didn't like that movie.
I haven't seen it. It didn't look good. I heard nothing but bad things about it.
I watched it. I did not go to the
And yet
theater.
it won the
watch
Academy Award.
Yeah, I waited for it to come out on streamer. I got done watching that movie and going to myself, why did this win Best Picture? But yes, it would.
I'm going to say what number 20. This is a movie I've never even heard of until about half hour ago when I looked it up online. Nomadland.
I've never seen it.
I have no idea. I think it said that Frances McDermott was in it.
Yeah. Who's a great actress.
She is a wonderful actress. She's married to one of the Coen brothers.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
why she appears in like all their movies.
Yeah. She's a great actress.
Yes. Well,
What year was that?
2020.
So
Which-
you don't have 21, 22, or 23?
No.
Where was your studying on? I thought you were doing this.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Really?
Yeah. You're fired.
I said I only did up to 2020 when this took effect.
But again, movies like The Green Book, 12 Years a Slave, those type of, you know what the story is, you know the time era it takes, and they're great stories. When you watch Disney movies, old time classic Disney movies, one of the very few things that before they start the movies, they will say, well, this movie was filmed in a different era, blah blah blah. Stop.
Well, now, like, also, if you like, let's say you go on Google and you want to look up memes for like funny memes for Gay Pride Month or something, because we are in Gay Pride Month, so now every corporation wants to shove it down our throats. If you Google it, there will be a disclaimer saying that some of these images will be hurtful to like underrepresented people or something, and it's like, guys, we don't care. We don't need your pandering.
Yeah. Well, that's what civilization is becoming, though. It's a pandered universe where everybody has to be, Dave. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I mean, we could go on and on and on about D.E.I. And actually, our next episode is going to be
movies that we couldn't
movies
make
and
today.
TV shows that you couldn't make today. I was just mentioning something to you today about a movie they would have to take a clip out of. Kindergarten Cop.
Yep.
When they say Kindergarten Cop, when the kid gets up and looks at Arnold Schwarzenegger and says, "Boys have penises."
Don't say it. Oh no.
Boys have penises. Girls have vaginas.
Trigger warning.
Great scene, but they would not allow that.
No,
they wouldn't allow it today.
It certainly wouldn't be written like that today.
No,
because they just wouldn't even bring that subject up. No.
So,
Because men can have babies now.
Yeah,
in fact, I'm pregnant right now.
But going back years and years and years, some of the great TV shows would not be made. Great movies could not be made because everybody gets butthurt now.
I was just telling you about I finished it a week or two ago. Black Sails. Right?
Great series.
Wonderful show. This show should be the poster boy for DEI because you got men, women, black, white,
gay, lesbian,
bi. You have everything. They're all well written. They're all in positions of power. They're fighting each other.
The characters are great, and you could care less white, black, male.
They're all fighting for control an asshole.
You don't care.
They don't shove it in your face. It's just who these characters are. But
that's a hard R show too. So if you want to watch Black Sails, watch it. It gets pretty.
It's not the boys hard R. Oh no, where there's a strong SSC.
Well, boys again. I think if you were to put that in the theaters, they would almost have to push an NC-17 on that.
Maybe. But I really think what DEI really, really comes down to is the quality of writing. Because when it's done right, you don't even notice it. But when it's done wrong,
you see what they're trying to do.
And they're just shoving it in your face, the pronouns in space, like we have with Star Wars and The Acolyte. And
don't even get me
that newest movie on Netflix called Atlas, when one of the robots says that its pronouns are she, her. Yeah. It's what?
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. Well,
what is it called? Atlas?
Atlas. It's
a sci-fi movie?
Yeah, it's a Jennifer Lopez movie. Is
that why she canceled her tour?
It looked horrible.
She canceled her tour. So
I was actually getting ready to watch it, and it looked horrible. And I watched the trailer for it, and I was just like, yeah, no, I will pass. But I did see a clip about one of the robots telling the humans what its pronouns were.
Well, when you look at Star Wars, Solo, you had a robot that was for sex for Lando Calrissian. Come on.
That's really? Now canonically part of the navigation system of the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. So.
But if you write a good story, you have well-written characters. I don't care what they identify as, male, female, straight, white, gay, lesbian, whatever. I don't care. Good characters, good writing takes all that away.
I just watched The Batman again last night, where there's a black Commissioner Gordon, and there is a black Catwoman.
Yeah,
loved it,
but you didn't care.
Didn't care. Great actor, great actress. Yep. Well-written movie,
and nothing was ever thrown in that movie to make you. Oh, okay, yep, they're going for DEI stuff here.
No,
nothing.
It was a Batman movie.
Yeah.
It was a great Batman movie. Yeah.
You can keep going back to Fury.
I really think a lot of his inspiration for that Batman world was the Arkham games, because there was a few shots when they were up high, on top of a building, and I'm like, this really feels like Arkham City from the video game series. Right. And Batman Arkham City's the best superhero game I have ever played. Yeah. They really do put Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I didn't beat Arkham Knight, but it looked pretty good. Yeah. But Arkham City and Arkham Asylum blow the Spider-Man games away. And speaking of the Spider-Man games, Spider-Man 2 had that Sweet Baby Inc. come in as a consulting firm, and there's so much woke shit in that game.
You can go all the way back to the first Iron Man movie when they introduced Nick Fury.
Yep.
Nobody cared.
Why? Because it's Samuel L.
In the comics, he's a white guy. And in a movie, he was actually played by David Hasselhoff. A movie from the 90s, early 90s.
Was that the
Nick Fury movie? It was actually, I think it was called Fury or something like that. But nobody cared because you hired a great actor. to play the role. Nobody cared.
Yep.
No, a lot of people, a lot of younger people probably don't even have a clue that Nick Fury is actually a white guy.
Nope. Because in the comic books, he's black.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
I should say in the MCU, he's black.
Right. But before that, all the Marvel comics, Nick Fury is white until he becomes part of, this. But nobody cares
Nope.
because you hired a phenomenal actor and he worked. He's actually some of the best parts of some of the movies up until the Secret Wars. Don't watch Secret Wars, by the way.
I wasn't planning on Dave.
It's bad. Because they have an actual moment at the end where,
Isn't he like kissing a scroll?
well, yeah, because you don't know who a Skrull is anyways.
No.
Because they're shapeshifters.
Turns out Brody was a scroll the whole time?
Yeah. I kind of had that feeling way back in actually Civil War.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yep. Because they were mentioning Skrulls back then anyways.
And you were like, that Brody. He's shifty.
But, yeah, I mean, we could go on and on and on. What's D.E.I.? Again, if it works, it works. But
And again, it's so hard to look up.
Do not change stuff just to change stuff to fall into the political correctness of this day and age, because political correctness as a whole, in my opinion, is ruining a lot of stuff.
Diversity. So the first thing in DEI, diversity is actually a weakness unless you have diversity heading towards a common goal.
Yeah.
Because if you just have diversity for the sake of diversity,
Doesn't get you anywhere.
it doesn't get you anywhere.
Right.
So, could you,
So, yeah,
Numenor, right? That is the name of the city
What?
in the Rings of Power, Numenor.
Yeah.
Right? It's supposed to be a island city that's been isolated for thousands of years.
Bad TV series.
So how comes Numenor looks like a food court in Los Angeles?
Yep.
It shouldn't.
Yep.
If it was an isolated city for thousands of years, everybody would look the same.
Yeah. But again,
It's DEI being pushed into a show, being made by activists, being helmed by activists,
Again,
and then being acted by
a
activists.
lot of the stuff nowadays, and I will keep saying this until somebody proves me wrong, a lot of stuff is activism over art.
I tried to watch the Rings of Power show. I will never call it the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power.
It's bad.
I watched the trilogy, then I started watching that. I got almost 2 episodes in. I almost finished the second episode. It was so bad. Now, someday I might have to go back and finish it.
If you really
I
want
don't
to get down to it, try to watch The Acolyte, and you're.
I'm going to watch it, but I'm just going to blow through it in one night.
It's not just Kathleen Kennedy and what's her name, Hedlund. It's not just their political DEI stuff they're throwing in it. The story is horrible.
Yeah.
The acting's horrible. This last episode, I would probably say, is probably the best episode for a few things, but it's just bad.
What's his name? Like the Asian guy. I don't know. I don't know the
Squid
actor's
Game.
name. It is the guy from Squid Games. It's like Master Soul.
Yeah.
He seems like he would be really
seems
good.
like-
It's a shame he's wasted in this show. He should be put into a better property.
But again, this comes back to people not knowing the IP.
How did they put
The source
$180 million into the show?
No, 210 now, they're said. But
Disney is a money laundering Ponzi scheme.
But when you are having a Star Wars show and you're mentioning a Jedi that's not even born yet, that you're going to go meet, what? Okay, this Jedi is not born for another 60 years after the show takes place.
Yep.
They're also making Jedis look like a bunch of pansies, wusses,
Yep.
and it's a bad show. And I have to give it, if I was to give it a score right now, it'd be like a 6 out of 10, and that's pushing it.
You give it a 6 out of 10.
Pushing it. If I'm going by that A, B, C, E, F, G score, if I broke it down, I was trying to break it down today, it's an F. I'll give it an F. But this last episode pushed it up just a little bit because it wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible.
So it's still a shit sandwich. It's just not a moldy shit sandwich.
Right. It's just Star Wars is not the same. I think I'm actually
Star Wars is not Star Wars.
When Leslie Heelan says she took inspiration from what's his name that did Last Jedi,
Rian.
Rian Johnson. That shows you he helped ruin Star Wars.
Well, She said that this show was Kill Bill meets Frozen.
Yeah, it's bad.
Huh?
If you're into Star Wars and you want to watch and you've watched everything else, watch it and you'll see what I'm talking about. But if you have a different opinion and think the show's great, good
You're
on you.
allowed to like
Yeah.
bad shows. Just
Yeah.
know that it's a bad show. I like lots of bad things.
There's stuff you like that I'm like, yeah. There's stuff I like you don't like. I mean,
Yeah.
you like
The Godfather.
Godfather is one of the first two of the best
Overrated movies ever made.
Yeah,
I know.
two of the best movies ever made, and you don't like them. You don't like John
It's not
Wayne.
that I don't like them.
Yeah,
I don't like John Wayne.
You don't like John Wayne. I love John Wayne, but but we don't hate each other, and we're not going to get clubs out and start beating each other, or go online and start doing all these little Dave don't like this, and I don't like him anymore. And
Well, I haven't yet, but you keep your shit up.
well,
Go
that's
ahead.
true. I've actually thought about doing that.
Yeah.
Starting up a secret account and just going on.
Maybe a way that I can get them to actually buy some new chairs at work is if I break a few over your head.
There we go.
Maybe that'll work.
Yep. All right. So again, our next episode in 2 weeks will be top movies and TV shows that could not be made in this day and age, 2024.
Something that would not sit well with the modern audience.
And I'm going to go probably back all the way into the 70s. I'll have some shows from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, movies.
You couldn't make.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could not happen nowadays. And some of it's just...
And a lot of these things, like they would say that it's too racist, and then it's like, yeah, but it was written by, too racist against black people. It's like, yeah, but you know that it was written by a black guy.
I mean, just to throw one out there right now, Blazing Saddles would completely be obliterated in this day and age.
Yeah, okay, Dave, sure.
But it's a
That's
great
definitely
movie.
not what I was just
No,
saying.
I know that. But what I'm saying is Blazing Saddles is a great movie, but could never be made now. Got anything else to say before we
Yeah, do we have a blunt object here I can smack him with?
let these people go?
Yeah, sure.
All right. All right, guys. So
Next
we
week's
will see you in a couple weeks. Have a great day.